Welcome back, everybody, to my channel. So today we're going to be answering the question, why do they cut antlers off deer? So if you don't know, up in Wisconsin and Michigan, they have a pretty big problem with deer. The deer are kind of getting out of control. Now this is not necessarily a bad thing, but when they get out of control, their antlers end up doing a lot of damage. So what they end up doing is they end up cutting the antlers off. Now typically, deer will drop their antlers every year and then they'll grow a new set. But they've been finding that the antlers are just getting way too big, and it's causing a lot of problems. So they're coming up with solutions to try and solve this problem. In this video, I'm going to tell you why they're cutting the antlers off, how they're cutting the antlers off, and if it's hurting the deer or not. If you're new here, welcome. We talk about everything hunting, conservation, outdoors, and a little bit of everything else. So if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. It really helps us out a lot. All right, so let's get into the video. Now, the first thing I want to say is that there is a reason why they are redoing this and that because these deer are getting way too big. Their antlers are way too big. Now, the reason their antlers are getting way too big is because they have way too much food. There's a theory that says that when white-tailed deer were almost hunted to extinction, they lost a lot of their natural behaviors. One of those behaviors was being more nomadic. They would travel all over the place looking for food. Now that we have so much habitat and so much food available, they don't have to travel as far. They can find all their food right there in one area. When they're not traveling as far, they're not burning as many calories. All that extra energy goes towards growing bigger antlers. So that's the no. One reason why they're getting these giant antlers. They're not moving around as much. They're just staying in one area and they're just eating. Another reason is that there are no predators. So with no predators, they're able to grow even bigger. If there were predators, they would have to stay on their toes. They would have to be moving and running around, which again burns a lot of extra calories, which doesn't allow them to grow these giant antlers. The other reason is that the genetics, over time, have kind of taken over. They have really good genetics, and the best genetics are always passed down. So over time, you're just going to get bigger and bigger animals. So now that we know why they're getting so big, let's talk about how they're dealing with this problem. The solution that they've come up with is cutting the antlers off. They're only cutting the antlers off of the bucks, not the does. Now, the reason why they're only cutting the antlers off of the bucks is because the bucks are the ones causing all the damage. The does aren't doing anything. They're not causing any damage. The bucks are the ones that need to be stopped.
How are they cutting the antlers off?
Well, they're using a few different methods. A couple of the more popular ones are either A, they're trapping the deer and then cutting the antlers off, or B, they're re-going in with helicopters and they're reusing a special kind of gun that shoots a net. That net ends up going over the deer, and then they end up cutting the antlers off. Now, I've heard some people say that this is inhumane, but if you watch any videos of it, you'll see that it's not really hurting the deer. The deer is a little spooked, obviously, but it's not really hurting the deer at all. Now, another thing that's interesting about this is that they're selling the antlers. So the people that are trapping them and cutting the antlers off are making money on these antlers. They're selling them to people that want to buy them. Now, what happens to the deer after they've cut their antlers off? Well, they get to keep their little nubbies, which is what's left of the antler after they've cut it off. Then they can grow a new set of antlers. Now, they won't grow a new set of antlers for about a year. But after that year, they'll grow a new set, and the cycle starts all over again. If you've ever seen a deer with no antlers, chances are this is probably what happened. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. It really helps us out a lot. And if you want to see more videos like this, stay tuned. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.